Here today to talk about how you can start your 2023 with a miraculous breakthrough. And if you want to learn all about that, then whether you're live or on replay, first of all, let me know, comment below where you're coming in from. But also, number two, subscribe to this, go onto my YouTube, share this as well too if you feel that this can impact somebody. But I'm super excited to share with you something that's happened today. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holidays and everything. But I know that during this time, all of us are generally pretty excited, right? New year, new me. And perhaps you're the type of person that has big goals, you have big aspirations for your business, your finances, your health, your life. But if you're anything like me as well too, you want to make sure that you do things differently now than you ever did before, because going into 2023, if you've been following me, I've been through quite the interesting space. I was in a place in my life where I'm a coach, trainer, entrepreneur. If you don't know my background, I help people coach how to build online businesses. And while we had a good year, it wasn't a great year. And I don't know if you've felt that way before in your life, but you knew you had another level. Like you knew that you could get even more. You knew that you could become more, but for some reason it felt like there was like a little ceiling right there, right? It's like there's this barrier. It's kind of like you're not exactly sure what it is, but you're pushing against it, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you've felt that way before in your life. You're getting good, but not great. You're getting like a 5 out of 10, but not like a 10 out of 10 in your life. And I was searching for ways to be able to break through in some major ways. And perhaps some of us here too, we're going through some major challenges through 2022. I definitely was as well. Diane, you were. Yeah. And I was seeking a way to be able to bulldoze through that, to break through that. What ended up happening, if you've been following my journey, is I decided to go to the source of truth. For me, that's the Bible itself. And I started to look to what do great men and women of the Bible in history, what did they do to experience not just a breakthrough in their life, but a miraculous breakthrough? And a miraculous breakthrough, I describe it as something that's happened and it's so huge that the only way it could happen that you could describe it is that God showed up. And perhaps you've had a miracle in your life as well too. In fact, many of our lives we're a living miracle. But what if there were a way that we could always experience that? That's what I was searching out for. So I ended up looking through the whole thing. I ended up looking through the Bible, and I noticed from Moses to Jesus himself, they did a combination of 3 things that when they did it, always led to miracles. Right? So number 1, they fasted. Now, fasting is when you starve the body to feed the spirit. If you want a miracle in your life, then you got to be connected in your spirit, right? Number 2 is they prayed. Praying is talking with God. And number 3 is they studied the Bible. Reading the Bible, reading the word is God talking to you. So while prayer is talking to him, reading the Bible is him talking to you. So they fasted, they prayed, and they studied the Bible. When they did these 3 things, Moses got the 10 Commandments, for example. When Jesus did these 3 things, that's what led him into his public ministry. Now, if even Jesus, who said he was God himself, if even he had to do this, then I wondered, what if I applied this as well too? And you can as well. In fact, if you've ever done any of those things before in combination, put a 3 in the chat. Have you done a period of fasting, prayer, and study before? And someone that didn't grow up in the church, I grew up agnostic. I didn't understand these types of principles, and especially being primarily a business coach, I started to think, can these also apply not just in the church, but can apply in our daily lives, can apply in our businesses? You have. Awesome. Yeah. Wow. You guys have all done this. It's incredible what happens. I applied this, and 7 days later, I did a straight water fast in this period. I had the greatest breakthroughs ever. Clarity, purpose, decisions, financial breakthroughs. Like it was awesome. One of those breakthroughs was I being not an author, I decided to write a book in 10 days, which 10 days later, the first manuscript of a book called The Miraculous Breakthrough Formula, documenting this process, how you can, in 7 days, in a biblically guaranteed way, actually break through, you can get unstuck, and you can achieve miracles in your life, achieve the impossible. I wrote that in 10 days, never wrote a book before. Launched what's called a Kickstarter campaign, which if you have supported, shout out, thank you so much. And you can grab a copy, and also you can support that campaign to launch a book. So check out in the link tree in my bio or my caption. You can check out the caption for more information on the book. And Diane, thanks for the support. And everyone here, thank you for the support if you have. But I wanted to share some that just happened today and how it can be relevant for you in your life as well too. Because when you do things God's way, when you apply this miraculous breakthrough formula in your life, literally God starts to show up in incredible ways. So this is what happened. So I did that for 7 days. And actually, I had committed originally to do a 21-day period of fasting, prayer, and study. Okay, and Crystal, I know, supported as well too, so thank you so much. I committed to 21 days. Now, the first 7 days was straight water fast. The next 14 days was more like an intermittent fast. And I won't go into the details of what happens in that, but this is what happened, okay? As I was raising funds to launch this book, we had committed a Kickstarter campaign to raise $10,000, right? So that goes to editing the book, designing the book, promoting the book, marketing the book. Like the goal is to have this really travel far and wide. So as we were going through this and we were raising funds for this Kickstarter, we were short of our goal, quite a bit of ways actually. And on the 21st day of this period of fasting, prayer, and study, what happened was I got on a phone call that changed my life for forever. And I want to reassure you that if you're seeking breakthroughs in your life, God's got a timing to things, doesn't he? And many times it's not in the timing that we want. Who here has ever felt that God is not on your timeline, right? Put it to in the chat if you could attest to that. You know, you want it your way, you want your timing, but God's got his own perception of time, doesn't he? He's got his own ways of doing things. So there was like this period of drought, right? And we kept on going, but I made a commitment to God. I said, I'm going to do this for 21 days and let's see what happens, right? Literally on the end of the 21st day. So every day I was fasting, I was praying, I was actually doing a live Bible study, and I still do that to this day as well too. But on the 21st day, no joke, I had an idea of someone to connect with about this book Kickstarter. Yeah, he always wants, as Crystal put it well, he wants to have full faith in him. It's always his time, not our own time, 1000%. And what happened was I made a phone call, and this is what happened. Right, this is what was trippy. So I gave this person, I'll leave him anonymous, but I gave this person the idea of this Kickstarter. And you know what's crazy? He said this. He said, James, you know what's fascinating? It's just the week before you called me, I had thought of an idea. He's an entrepreneur. He owns many restaurants. He owns many businesses. He said, I thought of an idea, a kingdom-driven idea. And the first name that came into my mind to connect with about this idea was you. Then I'm like, huh? Wow, okay. And we weren't super close friends. We kind of just knew each other through social media and stuff, right? So what are the odds that I thought about him and then he thought about me? Ooh, trippy. Some call that coincidence. I call that God, right? So get on this call, and after an hour of this call, we get so excited about these ideas that we're starting to talk about, where we made this decision. We're like, we're going to do something together. So I decided to take a very big step of faith. And I decided to book a plane ticket to go meet with this person. I live in California. This person lives in Houston, Texas. And I decided to book a plane flight to go there to really be able to vet out these ideas together and everything with no, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But I book it out there, and very blessed. He housed us. He took me around, met his family, got a chance to know him, his business, his dreams, and everything. Had the most amazing of conversations. And at the end of this trip, this is what happened. A big portion of this Kickstarter, the fundraising, is going towards mentorship on how to be a best-selling author. So there's a specific course that we're looking at. It's a 5-figure plus course to go through. If anyone knows Ed Milet, he's like a personal growth guru. He just wrote a book called The Power of One More. So the company, the people that coached him through the process, I was looking towards hiring these people, because if you want to be the best, you got to get trained by the best, right? But it's like a 5-figure type course. we can afford it, but we're saving money for our down payment because we're about to close on a house. Like, it's just not the right timing, right? But I felt that God was saying you needed to connect with these people in order to make your book a success. So we're like, okay, how do we acquire the funds for this? So what happened is the last day of my trip, I'm actually doing in the middle of my live Bible study I do every morning. Thanks, Pam. What happens is right after I get off, I'm at his office, and I'm doing my live Bible study as he's doing his things. He comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, James, just guess what? You know that course that you were looking at? Well, I decided to just fund for it, and we're going to do this thing together." Then I'm like, "Wait, what? Really?" That's a 5-figure course right there, right? I'm like, wow. So it ended up being even better. And basically, he funded for the rest of our Kickstarter campaign and more. And I was just thinking to myself, oh my gosh, how God works in such amazing ways, how he connects people of his body together. And there's a very big difference. And the key point of this I want to give is this: God works in certain ways. And when we follow his ways and his principles, the most miraculous breakthroughs do happen, because the definition of miracle is something that's outside of the natural, right? Miracle means supernatural. Miracle means above natural. Miracle means God shows up, right? And if you're somebody that is spirit-filled, a person of faith, then why don't we live life the way that God intended it to be? A life that is dependent on him, not just ourselves, right? So as I decided in the very beginning, I bring this all back up because who would have thought that this would have all come together? Let me go through the timeline again and show you how just amazing this is and how you can apply it into your life. Why am I sharing this? Because I want your 2023 to be incredible. I don't want you to just experience a breakthrough, but a miraculous breakthrough in your life. And absolutely praise the Lord for this. Is not long ago, I was in a place that I felt stuck. I felt hopeless. I felt desperate. I felt like, man, I'm doing everything that I can do, but what's the next level? And I decided to just be obedient to what God said that he does, his promises in his word. And I decided to what would eventually become what would become the draft of a book called The Miraculous Breakthrough Formula: How Prayer, Fasting, Prayer, and Bible Study leads to miracles in your life. How I decided to study that, apply that, and I decided to do 7 days of a complete water fast, but 21 days of a period. And following through then all the miracles that went throughout. And how is it possible that on the 21st day, when I finished this committed period of time, to get God's presence in our life powerfully? And that's really what the Miraculous Breakthrough Formula is designed for. If you're searching for God's presence in your life, and you feel like you've been disconnected, you feel like you haven't been able to hear clearly, you feel like there's distractions, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you ever felt like God's voice to you has kind of been distracted. It's kind of been like, I can kind of hear, it's kind of muffled, right? It's kind of like, wah, 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 wah. Like that's kind of what you're hearing, right? Doing this type of a formula is what allows you to hear him clearly and show up powerfully in your life. And who would have thought that after 21 days, that literally on the 21st day, is it odds? Is it coincidence that I get this call that ends up connecting me with a business partner, a friend now, and to complete this Kickstarter campaign? I mean, what are the odds right there, right? So why am I bringing this all up? Because I am convinced, not because this is like a James Zhang thing. I'm convinced because these are things that God says in his word, and his promises are true, right? I'm convinced that these things work for anybody, as skeptical as you might be, that if you do these things, you will experience the most amazing breakthroughs. So where are we at now? Well, the Kickstarter is now officially funded for, so the book is moving full forward. So praise God and thank you everybody that's been supporting in any way that you've been supporting. But we actually, just in case, we made the Kickstarter, and how Kickstarters work is you have to put a deadline, and then at the end of the deadline, then all the funding stuff will happen. So we put the deadline to be January 25th. So technically there's like 20 23 days left on the Kickstarter. So now there's still opportunities if you wanted to grab the book, or if you want to support the campaign, if you haven't had an opportunity, or you want to share this with someone else as well too. There's still opportunities to raise more as well, and we need more. Like, really, to let you know, the biggest thing in a book is the marketing cost. Like finding ways to get it out there and stuff like that. So we would love more help on that to spread a cool message. Would love for you to be a part of this journey. I'm actually going to probably add some more chapters to the book now, as we've been having these other stories and everything. And I'd love you to be a part of this as well. So if you're interested in knowing how to grab a copy, or even supporting that book cause itself, check out the link tree in the bio, and you can check out, it's the first link, it's the Kickstarter right there. And you can see how to grab your own order of the Miraculous Breakthrough Formula. It's a 7-day challenge, biblically guaranteed, to help you get unstuck and achieve the impossible in life. And it works. I've seen it not just with myself, I've seen it with other people. I've guided through this process now as well too. And it's just the beginning of so much more to happen, About that. Plus, I'm actually thinking about starting a live. I'm curious. If I could lead a 7-day challenge for this, imagine I'll teach you exactly how to do this properly. I'll actually walk you through live 7 days of what to do day by day. And maybe we can have a community about it. And thanks so much, Kinjiro. Type a 7 in the chat if you would even be interested in being a part of like a live period of applying this too. Like, you like to be able to do something like that together. That sounds like something cool. A 7-day period of fasting, of some type of prayer and Bible study, so that you can experience God's significant presence in your life, get clarity, support, breakthroughs, financially, physically, whatever that it is. You'd be interested. Awesome. Okay. Stay tuned. I'm putting together some ideas for this, as I'm starting to put together some curriculum and stuff. Awesome, Crystal, that'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I'm going to be thinking about this. You'd be down, Pam? Diane, awesome. I'm going to be thinking about when and how to do this. I'm kind of thinking maybe towards the beginning, end of this month, or maybe the beginning of next month. I know January can be kind of busy. January can be kind of interesting. But in the meanwhile, if you are interested, then follow along. And I'm actually going to personally be starting. I'll let you know my personal commitment right now. I'm going to do, so at first I did a 3-day complete water fast doing this. And then I did a complete 7-day water fast, as you heard. For now, I'm actually going to personally, just to keep myself accountable to you, starting tomorrow, I'm going to start a 21-day, for me, 21-day water fast. And I'm going to be doing it, actually interesting. If you know, we're in the health and wellness business, I'm going to be using these too. So these help to balance the body, help to curb some cravings. They don't break a fast, which is cool too. So these are like some body balancing drops. Me using these, a couple supplements, drinking all water. I'm not going to consume any solid foods. As I'm thinking about how to scale this further, and as we complete this Kickstarter as well too, there's a lot of ideas that I feel that God's been giving to me to be able to think, how can I better support you? So I'm going to start a 21-day thing tomorrow, and basically ended by my wife's birthday, Becky. Her birthday actually ends, her birthday is January 27th. So I should be able to complete this by then, type of thing, So I follow along. And if you feel called to follow along, then just, you can take a look at some of my other YouTube videos as well too. I've documented some of the process of just how to fast, how to pray, and how to study as well too. But I'm going to be doing daily Bible studies. If there's anything I can pray for you about, let me know too. If there's anything I can help you with, definitely let me know. But I'm going to be moving on this process, and I just want to let you know personally, so I can keep myself accountable to you. But also, if you apply these principles and you follow along, then I know that the most amazing thing is going to happen for you in your life as well, because these things work. This miraculous breakthrough formula does work. Okay. So I wanted to share that story with you to empower you and to encourage you. I so want you to experience the most miraculous breakthroughs in your life this year. And if we've just followed what God says to do, then it's going to happen for you, because he holds true to his promises, and he's always true. I know. So other than that, everybody, happy New Year once again. Stay tuned. There's going to be a ton of content that I'm going to be putting out on so many different things as well too. And other than that, once again, if you're interested in checking out the Kickstarter, check out the link in the bio, check out the caption, And if there's any way that I can help you, let me know as well. But share this, like this, subscribe to our YouTube if you need to hear any of this. Other than that, have a great launch to your new year. On that, God bless. Talk soon. All right.